Welcome, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Real Men Being Men. Welcome to another episode of Real Men Being Men. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this evening. Got an absolutely amazing broadcast lineup for you this evening. We're going to do, as we always do, something called Four Square Conversation. Something called Four Square Conversation, and what that is you, yes, you be able to join in, and we will have four different topics. We have four different topics, and we will talk about them for 30 minutes, 30 minutes apiece. Four different topics, and we will talk about them for 30 minutes apiece. And so, hopefully, we will get to all four of the topics. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. It's just a matter of how this thing is going to play itself out tonight and how deep these brothers can go into these conversations. Now, we got a couple of brothers with us already, so I want to go ahead on and let them introduce themselves before we get started. Captain Leonard, tell everybody who you are and where you're hailing from.
This is Leonard Jones, national spokesperson for New Order, National Human Rights Organization, and I'm calling in from Covington, Georgia.
Good deal, good deal. And we have, I want to make sure I get this brother first name right. I called him Richard, but how do you say your first name, brother?
It's pronounced El Great,
El
spelled
Great.
E-L-G-R-E-A-T.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tell everybody who you are, brother, and where you're hailing from.
Well, I'm El Great Richard. I'm originally from New Orleans, Louisiana, but I'm residing right now in Snellville, Georgia.
Good deal.
I'm pretty much a trichologist, Tom Sawyer barber here in the city of Lawrenceville. But I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
To God be the glory.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I said that we have what we call Four Square Conversation, and I'm gonna add the first. I try and keep it light. The first topic, I try to keep it real light. The first topic when I kick it off. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. But I want to ask this question, and Richard, I'm gonna come to you with this. I'm gonna start it off with you, brother.
Sure.
Whatever happened? Because back in the day,
joined.
back in the day when we were young men and we grew up, what we would do, we would fight, and we had a disagreement with somebody, we would fight, and the way that we did that is we brought out our hands and we did what we had to do, fight.
Right.
Now, if they have a dispute now, it's a gunplay. It's gunplay. They want to shoot each other, and that's the way they like to deal with it, by gunfare. So my question to you is, what happened to the fist fight days?
The fist fight days was sifted out by the absence of what the structure of a man looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about a bodybuilder. I'm not talking about an athlete. I'm talking about a responsible head of household. And mothers, I tip my hat to them, although this past Sunday was Arbor Day, Father's Day. But I tip my hat off to mothers that they do their very, very best to try to hang in there for their sons and nephews and boys in the community. But they're not designed. God didn't design a woman to raise a man. She can show him chivalry, how to wash dishes, how to fix a table, and even cook. But to be a man is out of her character because God didn't design that for her. She's not ordained in that area. So when boys come together in disagreement, what they hear, what they see, what they know from, I call it idiot box, better known as the television, is only what they know, what they see, not knowing exactly the end results of what they're beginning, the demise of it all, because they're not structured, they're not ordered, they don't have a vertebrae on how to develop. A lot of young boys out here in the barbershop surprised that they see the age of 18, let alone the age of 25, because of gunplay. And I'm a barber now, but unfortunately I'm a ex-police officer from the federal government level, so I got a chance to see things up close and personal on the design of a boy's mind to try to end it. To be angry, they don't know they can revisit an altercation or a disagreement another day, like we did back in our time. I'm born in 1961, so my time is very, very different. When I had a fight with our brothers in the courtyard where I lived in a housing project, I was trying to get closer to the peanut butter jelly sandwich or to split a cookie or something like that back in my day. But these boys have no tomorrow. It's right now and today. And when they get themselves caught up in a situation where only family can't even help them, they're looking around and wondering how they got there. And I think me, as a husband, as a father, as a brother, are responsible for the minds of these young boys, because they have no clue. I think they're cowards. I think you're a coward to carry a gun to pretty much bring in. I mean, you already have the end results in your hand, and to pull that trigger, you have no idea, young man. You have no idea what's ahead of that. So exactly. I think what happened to the men, I will call it the system or society that we live, have taken the men away for instead of slapping them on the hands and letting them deal with the situation later. They take the men away, and it's a design that's set up. They take our men away for our boys to be blind, and the blind cannot lead the blind. And you see what happens.
Exactly.
You see what happens today. You see what happens today.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let me go to Leonard. Leonard, I ask you the same question, man. What happened to the fist fight days? Now it's all about gunplay. What happened to the fist fight days, Leonard?
If you want a fist fight, you go to boxing. If you want to be a boxer, go be a boxer.
Mm-hmm.
The times have changed because, one, the reason why you're fighting has changed.
Mm-hmm.
The animosity you have towards one another is different.
Mm-hmm.
It's not to see who the better man is.
Mm.
It's not the goal. You know,
okay, that's good. That's good, Leonard. But tell me what is the goal? What is the goal though? Because the way they're doing it
to
now,
neutralize the threat.
Mm-hmm.
That's the goal.
Mm.
If I don't do you now, you're gonna be looking for me later.
Mm. Wow. And
this
see
is not
that,
a game anymore.
That mindset pretty much have us in situations that we're in right now. I think that mindset, and certainly not, I'm not saying that that's your mindset, because I know that's not who you are or where you are. But my thing is this right here: that mindset in these young boys is placing us in situations where we're losing, man. We used to fight and play. We used to fight and play. I had to fight one of my boys. We hanging out the next day. Tomorrow we hanging out. It's like it never happened.
Well, this is one of the issues that we differ in, because I am exactly like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we got some background noise coming from somebody's line.
Yeah, you know, there was never anything about me that enjoyed fist fighting someone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was, I mean, I was not, I wasn't trying to fight anyone, period.
Mm-hmm.
I fight when it's necessary. But one, I don't fight you to teach you a lesson.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is not the issue. This is not a game. The reason why y'all wasn't doing it before is because a lot of y'all couldn't afford guns.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't know how to get them.
Mm-hmm. Well, see, when you say it's not a game, I think that has a lot to do with it, because of the fact that they're looking at they're contributing this thing to this game that everybody is playing today, and they think there's a reset button. Let me do this right here. They think it's a reset button. You can actually go back, reset, and the person will be right back, like in a game. Because there's no regard. There's no regard at all for each other's lives.
Why should there be?
Why? A better question is, why shouldn't there be? A better question is, why shouldn't there be?
For the very simple fact that, one, anyone who believes that, somebody is out here to teach you a lesson, no, there are murderers out here that will do anything to you for something as simple as just wanting something that you have.
Mm-hmm. Again,
the
mindset.
This is not some game where you can say that people are somehow ignorant or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
The way to get what they want done is to use a gun.
Mm-hmm.
It makes all.
It almost sounded. I want to pull some more people into the conversation, and so hold on for a second. But it almost sounds as though you're saying that is the solution and that is the answer, and I certainly don't agree with that.
Well, I bet you would. When you call the police, what they show up with.
Mm.
Okay.
But my thing is this: do they always pull it out though?
It don't even matter.
They have a gun because of the fact that they're supposed to be, quote unquote, supposed to be the peacemakers. Let me go to Rico. Rico, whatever happened to the days of gunfight? Gunfight. He got me talking about gunfight, fist fighting.
Well, they went to the wayside. I mean, but I agree with Leonard. Those days really, what you were saying is if you had a disagreement, you settle it like that, and then everybody live to fight another day or whatever, and it's over.
Exactly.
But see, the thing is in the time that we came up in, sometimes people didn't know how to draw the line. The person that won, the victor, might decide that they want to come back and be the victor a couple of more times. Sometimes you had those that came and chose to put their hands on people that they knew couldn't fight back.
The bully.
Out of it. You know what I'm saying? You have some that don't like to fight those that's on the same level as them fight. Why? They might be a little bit too much of a fight, so they choose to go and fight and jump on those that they know can't fight back.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you gonna do to stop those people? You're gonna stop that threat. You can die from fighting too. Somebody can punch you and you hit your head on the ground and you out of here.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is some people want to end it quickly. And you always got to remember is the main root cause of a fight is some anger.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't determine what the next person's level of anger is. Now, the gun might not be the solution.
But Rico, that hasn't changed though. A person's level of anger hasn't changed, because back in the day when it was fisticuffs, when you get out there and you fight somebody and you're going about your business, they break it up and you're going about your business, that level of anger was still there at that time. It's just that the solution that they're coming to now is more along the lines of the gunplay, and it's not the fighting.
It's not a solution. It's a consequence.
Mm-hmm. I can go with that.
That's what it is. It's a consequence. See, if you choose to get aggressive or violent with somebody, these might be the repercussions. You think we gonna fight until I put that thing in your face. Punch this. You get what I'm saying? So it really might not be the solution. That might just be the consequence of repercussion for the violent act. Now I ain't saying that it should go that way, because sometimes people are being aggressive with guns and you didn't even have to do anything to them. But I get what you're saying about, I can understand that the way it was back in the day. It could be just a fight and everybody settling it, and it wasn't death involved, but times have changed.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened. I know one thing: TV and movies and influences like that. We always got to remember that we are products of our environment. So, if you start seeing on television all the time how people are using guns, think about Cops and Robbers, Starsky and Hutch, Beretta, all these different shows we grew up watching when we were coming up. They did a lot of shooting and killing.
Yeah.
And over time you see more and more of that. So life imitates art, imitates life.
Landon, I'm sorry, Rico. Did you tell everybody who you are and where you're hailing from? I didn't get that.
Oh, this is Rico Jackson from Anderson, Alabama.
Anderson, Alabama. Yes, sir. Landon, tell everybody who you are and where you're hailing from.
Landon Sands from Atlanta, Georgia.
Good deal, good deal. And who's the young one you got with you right there?
Say hi. Autumn Sands.
Hi. Hey, how you doing? Landon, what happened to the fist fighting days, brother? What happened to the fist fighting days?
I think it went away with my generation. I think to everybody that just spoke point, the film, TV, other brother was saying how he don't think that, young men, or really even young women, because women shoot people too. They can't take it. They don't want to man up or woman up, and just have that fight. They want to take the easy way or the cowardly way out.
Yes.
And then also to what Brother Leonard was saying, because I agree to an extent, I ain't fighting nothing. My 35-year-old body, I'm not finna tussle with you. I'm not finna. Nah, we ain't doing it. I'm about to see this thing, and either you're gonna back up or you're gonna get blown off. That's just it. And if we really being honest, even when I was younger, I never fought. And I kind of lucked up in that way because I was from a very rough neighborhood, but everybody liked me. I was cool with everybody. Or you just had to catch me. I was so fast, you know what I'm saying? If you couldn't catch me, you weren't gonna get my shoes, and you weren't gonna catch me. And when you see me at school the next day, I'm gonna go get with the football team. So you got to get through them to get me. You know what I'm saying? But that's but younger. But these days, I think there's yes, you're right. There's a lesser value on life. I think it's always been that way with Black people, just the way it's been portrayed in media, and it's portrayed even more now. I'm a big movie guy. I have a production company. I'm a big movie guy, big TV guy. In my 35 years of living, I have never seen as many slave movies, slave TV shows, and violence on the TV or in the movies than we have nowadays. Even with the superhero stuff.
Yeah.
And I watch a lot of the superhero movies and like Marvel and stuff like that. And even now, there's a TV show on Disney Plus of all places. That's a Marvel TV show called Loki. And I was talking because I got a group of friends that we all read the comics and we talk about it, the movies and stuff. And I was telling them, I was like, hey, y'all, do y'all notice how badly they treat the black women in these superhero movies? It ain't just a regular fight. Like they really drag and do the black women real dirty, even in those superhero movies. So I think it's unfortunately, and I can be called a conspiracy theorist in this sense, but I think there's an agenda to show Black death. I think there's an agenda to show lots of violence against Black people, very harsh violence against Black people to show that we're lesser than. That's just my theory.
Okay. Let me go to Richard. What do you say to that, Richard? What's on your heart? Because what I'm hearing, man, is and he touched on it a little bit. There's a total like a disregard for life, and life has no value in the people in the people that have these guns in their hands. What do you say to that, Richard?
Well, basically, I look at it from a totality because, like I stated earlier, I was a police officer for 8 years in Louisiana. I was a federal police officer. I served 8 years. I finished from Louisiana State University on a criminal justice. So I got a chance to arrest a lot of men, mainly young boys who never understood exactly what they got themselves into. Now, with me being 62 years old, let me fast forward. I left the police department in the late 80s. And along the way, I got greedy in life. And I wound up going to prison where I ran into a lot of young men who pulled that trigger. And these boys got life. And they had been in prison already at the time about 16, 18 years already. And each one of these lifers told me if they had one more moment to make a better decision, they wouldn't be where they are. And they find themselves belonging to men in other situations that their youth of life never told them. See, they tell you about the beginning, but they don't tell you about the end. Okay? And now with me being a tonsorial barber, working in the community, my thing is to get in the way of all that demise by any means necessary. See, barbering may be the job that I do, but I understand my purpose and my calling. I get a chance to revisit these things through their eyes to let them see exactly you ain't ready for what that's really got going on. That's the end result. It's okay to be a Steve Urkel. It's okay to turn back to not necessarily being a coward, but you got to reach out to that energy, young man, and to do something more positive with your life. And that's where I come from. And I know my way may be old school, like my man right here say he's 35. I can relate to a 35-year-old. I used to be 35, and I got 4 children that's 35 and above. I got 9. I got 8 girls and 1 son. Okay, and all my children are all adults. So what I say about when I see the young men about pulling their pants up, they have no idea what that's about. You know what they're doing? The same thing they did with this fist fight. They follow it. Oh, they say it's a style, it's a fashion. Oh, you're definitely right. It's a fashion. It's a fashion in prison. You letting the head citizen know you're trying to get to be a part of their team. They be looking at me like, man, where'd you get that from? What you mean? I'm supposed to look like because I got a bow tie on now? That I've never been on both sides of the boss? Yes, I have. I have a criminal justice degree, and I also graduated from prison. And when I'm saying to them young men, when I run across them who think they got that fire in their eye, think about your mother. Think about all the things that's out there. A gun is a place of no return. Okay, and I'm not saying don't protect your family. I'm not saying even when you pump gas, you got to be aware, looking all around, your head is on the swivel. I understand all that. But we're talking about young men who think it's okay to end life because they're trying to move on to the next thing or reset their button and move on. It doesn't happen like that. When you hear them young boys crying every night and be stuck in the hole and facing things that they have no clue on what's ahead of them and hurt their mothers and their sisters, they can't afford the maternity bills and be on commissary and trying to take care of them while they was in prison when they told them. They told them, but they just didn't listen. So my thing is, I'm a foundational guy. I'll always go back to the day before it happens. I used to be a victim. My dad left my mom. My mom sold, bought what my dad was selling back in the day, other things on his mind. And I stopped calling myself a victim. I became an achiever of all this stuff. Guns came my way. Drugs came my way. Homosexual came my way. I never adhered to it. And the last fight I had, I lost that one. Calvin White, never forget his name. Punched me in my nose for talking too much. I was in 11th grade, and he was right. I had no fight in me. I had 7 sisters. I'm going to get one of my sisters anyway. And my sisters posse up. So it looked crazy to me stand in the background and letting 14 girls fight for me. But that's pretty much what it was back in the late 60s, early 70s of my time. But, man, listen, these young boys don't have a clue. They're blind, man. They have no heart. They have no manly vertebrae. And they don't know how. They don't know how. So when they develop themselves to be a man, they missed it. Like I said, they don't even expect to see the age of 25. They question 18, going to a prom and finishing school and going to college. And I'm not saying military and college for everybody, but I do let them know this. You're going to be part of the 3 Ys, young man. You say, what's that, Ty? The 3 Ys, they're ending Ys. It's either going to be a university, military, or penitentiary. Take your pick. But at 18, 19 years old, that's your solution. I'm going to say it again. I call it the 3 Ys. Military, university, or penitentiary. That's your 3 Ys. Which one you choose, young man? Which one? It's on you. Which way you go. I'm not saying education for everybody, because I spent 7 years as a police officer, and I spent 8 years on the street, and I've been 42 years, hands down, being a barber. Best job in my life. When I was making a year as a police officer, I make every 3 months as a hairstylist. And I enjoy it, but it's not, I'm passionate about it. I'm passionate about it because I get a chance to see a bunch of me at that barbershop, a bunch of young guys, man. And I'm telling you, well, we know, like, see my man Landon right there with his daughter? Boy, beautiful. I applaud you, brother. I applaud you, man. You got to stay home. Women are anointed to work on your nerves, but these children are our children. And these boys need us, whether they're your biological sons or whether they're boys just out there, they lost. That's why they do it. That's why they do it. Well, we had boxing gloves in my neighborhood. We had popsicle sticks on our shoulder, knock it off. I'm going to see Tyrone and Craig and Wilbur tomorrow. I'm not going to a 13-year-old funeral, a murder.
Hold on one second. Let me pull some more people into the conversation, Richard. Hold on one second, brother. Love where you're going.
Yes, sir.
Rico, what's on your heart?
I bring this up a lot, man. We come in on each generation has got more and more used to convenience and things coming easy to them that they don't like to struggle.
Yeah,
they don't know what it's like to sweat and pull from your bottom of your balls. Get it out in the mud. You hear people say they get it out the mud and how they made it from rats and roaches and this and that, but it was a point in time where you really had to, how we talk about how when we were young, we used to have to go outside regardless of how hot it was.
Yeah,
from the South.
Yeah.
We didn't have ACs back then. There wasn't no central air and heating back then. It was extremely hot. And we had to go out there, we had to get it the hard way. We didn't have Nikes. We might have had Pro Wings or some Kids or something. The things weren't flexible. The Chuck Taylor shoes, if you were looking to get some, you know them things ain't got no quality. We grew up the hard way for real.
Yeah.
Sometimes you had to fight. Sometimes you had to fight and cry, and somebody get the best of you, and you still had to get up and fight. You're going to fight.
What it is.
But see, now you got a lot of young men raised by women that don't know what a man is supposed to be able to do when things get tough. See, sometimes you learn how to fight in the middle of a fight. You find out, you know what? I didn't want to put my hands on them, but I see now I can hit them back and hurt them worse than me. Hands on. Turn the table. Now they don't. Now you don't bit that apple. You feel like you like to fight a little bit. You ain't scared to put your hands on nobody. You know what I'm saying? So it's a courage. It's a courage thing. They're scared to fail. They're raised by women. They worried about the image. They worried about being embarrassed by losing. And they're sensitive because they don't want to lose. They can't sleep at night because they lost their fight.
Everybody gonna look at me. Everybody gonna look at me now. They're gonna be watching me because I lost.
And I don't know how to respond because the only thing I ever heard a woman, only way I've seen people approach aggressiveness is through a mama or aunts and her friends. Well, I tell you what, that mouth. They think you fight with your mouth, but you find out somebody know how to hit you in that mouth. You don't know how to respond. So yeah, what you gonna do, since you don't know how to be tough and be resilient, you gonna go get something quick and fast. Now, in my generation, guess where it came from? You hit your head on the ground. It came from Ministry Society. So the thing is, boys in the hood. That's where it came from. You know, you all over fighting some anger.
Yeah.
Now, I can't determine what the next person's level of anger is. Now, the gun might not be the solution.
But Rico, that hasn't changed though. A person's level of anger hasn't changed because
we got
back in the day when it was fisticuffs, when you get out there and you fight somebody and you go on about your business, they break it up and you go. I was wondering what that was. It was actually playing through the feed. I was like, man, what the world is going on here?
Man, somebody else talking while I'm talking.
Yeah.
I mean, really, when you look at the bigger picture, you know what I'm saying? The young men and boys are built different. And what it takes to make a young man and a young boy, some women think they could do that job too. I know what it takes to raise a man. Ain't nothing wrong with him twerking. Ain't nothing wrong. Let him cry. Y'all gonna make him cry that he can't express his emotions. But see, some things you ain't supposed to let a boy cry about. Some things it is absolutely against the grain for you to let some boys cry about certain things. And we know what those things are. They call it, oh, you trying to be too tough on him. Well, he gotta be tough. Sometimes he gonna have to fight. Sometimes he might have to knock two people out at one time. Somebody might run up on him and that they get the best of him. He needs to know how to protect himself because he might not have a gun all the time. But you know, we come up with we got different factors. We got movies, like I said, Boys in the Hood, Ministry Society. You got a single parent household, boys raised by mothers that like to look good, they're worried about their image, and they don't know how to fight, but can talk a ton of toughness out that mouth.
Yeah.
And this is what they learn. So now, along with that convenience, like I said, we in a very convenient time where people want things quick, fast, in a hurry. So they don't want to fight for 10 or 15 minutes. They want to end it fast.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing faster than that bullet, faster than the speed of the bullet at all.
Hey, good deal. Well, I said earlier that a lot of times what we do, we extend the time. So we're gonna stand. I think there's a lot more that needs to be said on this. Somebody else just came in. There's a lot to be said on this particular topic right here. So what we're going to do, we're going to extend it. We're going to extend this topic and let it go a little further. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
You know, I'm just listening into the different perspectives, and I know there's definitely one that's out. You know, that's definitely one that a lot of folks, you know, subscribe to. And, you know, one, I look at it from the point of view is I remember being young, but I never was stupid. I mean, I never was stupid. So, you know, it was, you know, I hear people when they talk about it as if there was some other route or what have you. But people are who they are. And they do what they choose to do for whatever reason they choose to do it. Like, say, for instance, with the whole gun thing, I sit way over here on the other side because I've been involved with guns since I was a kid. It was what I used to do as a hobby.
Proud military, if I'm not mistaken, right?
And then I went to the military.
Yeah.
I shot competitively and everything. That was my sport. That's what I used to do. So, you know, I never had a lot of issues because one thing I did do was definitely defend myself. So, you know, a lot of times, even with my sons, I teach them to be men. I'm not concerned with your point of view of other people, of what other people think about it. I am a man. This is why I teach my sons. and what they must stand for and what they can't stand for. You know, how you raise your child may be different. But there is a standard, I believe, for men that should be motivated to teach my son. It's what my dad taught me. And, you know, and what we have learned from the support system of men that we have had in our lives. And so we have to understand that it's not so much as the times changing as it is we have changed as people.
And, well, let me ask you this question, and let me ask you this question, and I could agree with that. We have changed as people, but and this is individual's perspective. You know, everybody may have a different idea on this, but have we changed for the better?
I think we have. I know I talk to a lot of men who have. A lot of men that I know are at stages in their life now where they are trying to repair the damages they have done, atone for a lot of the sins and lives and things like that they have destroyed. They're reaching out into communities and helping to mentor young boys and things of that nature. So I surround myself around people who are on the same path as I am. So when we're talking about certain things, I'm not so easy gonna come up with what it must be. This must be because of this. This must be because of that. No, there are things that are different because people are making different choices on how they raise their children.
Okay, that's good. Let me.
And you know, some people are not teaching children to defend themselves like we were taught.
A lot of times, Leonard, truth of the matter, and we pull all the layers back. A lot of times, man, these kids just don't know how to fight. They just don't know how to fight. Well, let me go.
They don't want to. It's more so they don't want to lose.
Well, they don't, because and I could go with that. I could go 100% with you on
Nobody
that.
wants
But
to
listen,
lose.
but the thing is, they don't want to lose because of the fact that they know they don't know how to fight. Back in the day, man, we used to fight all the time. We grew up fighting. Okay, so what you want to do?
Better.
Well, I say rather that's again, that's perspective. Whether it's better or not, that's objective. You can make that argument on either side or the other. But my thing is, and my point is this, Leonard. At the end of that fight, me and Marvin, we call him Earl Campbell, one of my best friends. We fought twice, but we never stopped. We never stopped being friends. We never pulled out a gun. We fought, man. Look here, people used to. We were so close, man. But people used to love to see.
I wasn't really fighting.
Oh, listen,
the football player, Earl Campbell.
No. He ran the football. He ran the football. He ran the football. So we called him Earl Campbell. You know, he was just he was a beast out there on that football field. But I'm gonna tell you something. People used to love to see us fight because we went at it, bro. When you say okay, you say what you want to say. I'm not gonna hit the defender. I was there and I saw
Earl wasn't even your enemy.
Man, you ain't got to be the fight. You ain't got to be. You ain't got. Look here. My thing is this right here. My thing is this right here. When somebody become angry, it don't matter whether they're your friend or your foe. They coming at you. If they angry, if they get mad enough, they gonna come at you. You know, I've seen brothers come at each other in a very vicious way. Why? Not because they didn't love each other, but because anger stepped in.
I fought my brother, but I didn't fight him like I fought a person in the street.
Okay, that's good. You had that limitation, but some people don't have that limitation. I've seen family members kill each other. Where's that limitation? Where's the limitation in that?
Some people don't have those limits.
That's exactly what I just said to you. That's exactly that was my point. You just made my point. Hold on, Leonard. Man, you'll go back and forth. You know how we do, man. We'll go back and forth for the next 45 minutes. Let me pull Tucson into the conversation. Good morning, Lord. Good evening, Donald Tucson. How you doing, brother? Tell everybody where you're from and what's your name and where you're hailing from. Mississippi. Go ahead. I think you're on mute. There you go. Hey, can't hear you, Donald. You're not muted, but we can't hear you.
He might need to go out and come back in because he ain't muted.
Yeah, you're not muted at all. Go out and come back in, brother. Go out and come back in. In the meantime, Landon, what's on your heart, brother? Why he get, go out and come back in? What's on your heart? We're gonna keep this thing. We're gonna take this thing to the top of the hour. Then we're gonna go to another topic.
Got you. We still talking about
the fighting.
Why you think people use guns instead of fighting?
Mm-hmm.
I think you also don't see it a lot, man. I didn't grow up fighting like that. I had a couple of fights, I guess, when I was like young and didn't really know what a fight was, but like that's like little like elementary kid. I don't even really consider that fighting. That's really more so horse playing. But a real fight, like an actual for real fight, nah, I never been in one of those. Okay. And I was raised by women, a woman, my mother, because my father was there. I don't know, man. I just never had to fight. On the other hand, I did feel like I needed a gun or guns because of the neighborhood that I was in. And so maybe that's why, because I didn't learn to fight or never had to. Maybe that's why I felt like I needed a gun.
Did you have a gun? Did you have one? Okay.
When I was younger, I had the gun, and it was, I don't even want to call it illegal because, it was illegal because I was carrying it on me. But now, I understand, being licensed to carry, and I've actually gone to a gun range and know how to shoot properly and all of that stuff. But when I was younger, I just, carried a gun because I thought I needed one just in case something happened. That's how bad the neighborhood was.
And see, that's the thing, Rico, when you're in a situation, a point or place or a situation, whereas a gun become like a shirt. You have to carry it every day like you're wearing your shirt, because if not, the neighborhood that you're in, somebody might do something to you. Yep. Talk to me on that, Rico.
It's like I said, it's a certain atmosphere. I can remember when Gang Banging and Colors came out. That's when the guns became a problem. Everybody wanted to start doing drive-bys. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a good gun. I remember when you didn't even hear people getting shot at school until a certain time came around. Maybe the biggest thing you heard was somebody got stabbed. Oh, they brought a knife to school. That was in the late 70s, early 80s. You know what I'm saying? But here comes the influence of that boob tube, the biggest programmer you could think of, that TV. And we started seeing, we got exposed to different lifestyles that went on somewhere else that was dysfunctional. Because I didn't know nothing about a Crip or a Blood until I saw Colors. Didn't have an interest in it. To be honest with you, I still ain't never seen Colors all the way through, because at that point in time when it came out, I didn't want to hear nothing about that mess. But somewhere Eazy-E struck a nerve with me.
Donald Toussaint joined.
And when Eazy-E struck that nerve with me, started getting a little entertained, a little interested about these AKs and these choppers and this and that, you know what I'm saying? Because I was still seeing some of the police in the thing. And I also saw the fact that we did have knuckleheads around here that sometimes you might have to do something to them because they just didn't have any boundaries. But that's the atmosphere that exists.
Yeah.
So now we're in that situation where, if you don't have a gun, you'll be vulnerable. I mean, like me, whenever I used to fight, if I was mad enough to fight you, I'd be mad enough to kill you.
Yeah.
If I get angry enough to put my hands on a person to do something to them to harm them, then it's going to reel me back in from that. So
and Rico, let me ask you this question: Does it matter? Does it matter at that point when you get that angry? Does it matter who it is?
It don't matter who it is.
Yeah.
It don't matter who it is. So it ain't really good to get that point with some people, because maybe they suffer from anxiety, maybe they have nervous problems, maybe they just had a bad background, and they don't have a middle ground. Like my friends used to like to wrestle. I didn't like to wrestle because, number one, I didn't like to lose, and I didn't like being put in a position that I couldn't get out of. But if I felt like I was in a position I couldn't get out of, and I was uncomfortable, and you liked it and you laughed, when I got out that position, I'm wearing you out.
What did you mean when you asked him, does it matter who it is?
Well, because what Leonard and I was talking about, and I'm getting a background feedback from somebody's line. I'm getting a background feedback from, okay, there you go. I think that's it. But let me mute some lines here. But what I was asking is this, because Leonard was saying that, me and Earl Campbell, we didn't really fight because we was friends. We was friends. He said we didn't really fight each other. But when you get angry to a certain level, it doesn't matter whether it's your best friend, your family member, or what. When you're angry and you go there, you're there. You're there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who the person is. You're not gonna sit there and say, well, I better not do this because this is blase. You're going in.
Oh, okay, I understand now. I got you. I think a better thing to say probably would have been, if that person is your real friend, you wouldn't allow yourself to get that upset.
Mm-hmm.
If they a real friend, you wouldn't allow. So you right, when you get that upset, it don't matter. But when someone's a real friend or family, you really care about them, you don't allow yourself to get to that point. So it's the beforehand. But after you get to that point, I agree. It don't matter who it is.
Yeah, exactly. Because and that's the thing right there. Are you going to allow you? Because once that switch come on, once you hit that switch, it's a wrap, brother. It's a wrap. Donald Toussaint, good evening. How you doing, sir?
All right. Can you hear me this time?
Yes, sir. We can hear you loud and clear. Loud and clear.
That's all right then.
Actually, tell everybody who you are, where you're hailing from.
What I was saying was, you do such a good job in telling everybody where I'm from, where they'll never find it. You want to do it, or you want me to do it?
Well, you from Mississippi.
See what I'm talking about?
Ain't that it? Now, how do most people say it? I got my own way of saying it. How do you say it?
It's Opelousas, Louisiana. You got it all crossed up. But I live in Pascagoula.
Look at that. Richard, have you ever heard of names like that, brother? Hold on, Richard. You're muted, brother. We can't hear you. Hold on 1 second. Unmute you there. There you go. Unmute yourself. Can't hear you, brother. Let me see. There you go.
Leave out and come back in.
No. There you go. We got
that. Sound good?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Listen, my mother's side from Opelousas, my father's side from Bogalusa.
Good Lord.
Louisiana. I'm born and raised out of New Orleans.
Now, how you like that right here?
What's up, Bill? Who that?
There is a Bogalusa now.
Oh, Lord. Look. We got 2 of them in here now. Oh, Lord, we got 2 of them.
Yeah.
How you like me now?
Oh, Lord, my Jesus. How in the world did we let that happen? Hey, Atlanta, we let 2 of them slip in. We let 2 of them slip in.
You can't get rid of us, baby. You can't get rid of us.
Toussaint,
Hurricane Katrina.
There you go.
That's right.
Hey, Toussaint, whatever happened to the fighting days, the fist fighting days, man? Everybody now, they want to pull out a gun and they want to fight with a gun. What happened to the fist fighting days, Toussaint?
Mortal Kombat. It's on the computer.
Man, that's a good one.
It's on computer now. I'll weigh you out. But I ain't gonna swing nothing. Look, man, when I was coming up, you fought till you win or lose. That's all it was. Win, lose, or draw. Tomorrow we're gonna fight again. Win, lose, or draw. We'll fight till we become friends or enemies. One of the two.
Yep.
You know, you got a bust eye or a bust lip. Tomorrow we'll try it again. When we first moved to our neighborhood, we came from the country, and it was just us growing up, because it was 12 of us. So when we moved to the neighborhood that we moved the house there, and my older 2 brothers used to get us. They sit in the ditch, and whoever would pass by the house, it didn't make no difference who it was. In order for them to pass by our house, they had to fight. So you go out there and do the best you can. And sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. Tomorrow when they pass by the house, we'll fight again. Sometimes they would pass around the house, around the back street, because they knew when they passed by the house, you had to fight. And then it grew to a point that neighborhoods would come, and we wouldn't, greet each other with a handshake. We'd punch each other in the chest.
Good Lord.
And that's how we would say good evening, good morning. We had one big truck, and he was a big, husky guy. He would actually always seem to miss your chest and punch you in the chin. But it was just the way we greeted each other. We kind of like taught each other how to fight. You had to fight. One way or the other. We'd get to school for recess, we'd fight. We wouldn't have a baseball game, we'd have a swing out. You from this neighborhood, you grab you somebody and just start swinging.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we grew up. But we had the rakes that you would comb your hair with.
Yeah,
If it
yeah.
really got ugly, you always had one of them you pull out.
Mm-hmm.
Then it got ugly then. I think
Wow.
we all remember those days.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Leonard, talk to me, brother. What's on your heart?
Oh, I'm just listening. Y'all sound so violent.
Oh, we sound violent, and you don't want to shoot everybody.
I'm just saying, man. I'm self-defense.
Mm-hmm. That's what it's called.
I don't understand. I don't think I would enjoy wanting to fight someone every day.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would want to just be waiting on you to fight with me every time I saw you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that would be so.
What? That would.
Mm. Richard, what you was about to say?
I'm just saying because
you know what?
There's a difference between fighting to prove a point and fighting for your life.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're fighting to prove a point, usually that's what it is. You set up some little meet me at 3:00 or whatever. That's what that's for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know what?
If I hate you, I'm gonna come get you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Ain't nothing about me and you gonna be friendly with one another.
Mm-hmm.
We're enemies.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as you stay away from me, I'm gonna stay away from you. But if I know you coming to do me harm, I'm not gonna spare you.
Mm-hmm.
Now that may be, some I don't know. I mean, because I'm just as old as you all are.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But ain't no difference to killing somebody with a brick or killing them with a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'll beat you to death with an aluminum baseball bat. Do you understand?
Right.
So it doesn't matter. So basically, what you're saying, basically,
I'm not getting in no fight with nobody to play with them.
But so basically, what you're saying is dead is dead.
Yeah, I'm just saying, for those people who enjoy that type of thing, more power to you. But see, that's not why. That's just you just trying to see who fights the best.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That's a game.
Let me do this. Hold on one second. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
It's Lord.
Who is this?
Lord.
Hey, what's up, Lord? How you doing?
What's going on, bro?
Hey, doing good, doing good. Asking a question, Lord, is whatever happened to the fist fighting days? Why is it that everybody now want to take out a gun and shoot each other? What happened to the fist fighting days, brother?
What happened to the fist fight?
Yes, the fist fighting days. The days where you just go out there and you fight somebody with your fist, with your hands, and the fight is over. You go about your business. Next day, you're probably playing with each other or just talking or just like it never happened. But nowadays, it seems like everybody want to shoot each other and kill each other on the spot.
Well, it's a lot of things, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Most of it is you don't want to get your butt whooped.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? In front of your boys. So you go get a gun, you pretend you hard, then you shoot somebody. You know what I'm saying? I got a cousin right now. Boy, it's soft as toilet paper.
Mm-hmm.
Soft as toilet paper. Shot a dude. Shot in a car. Shot a dude in the neck. Went through his neck. Shot the next dude. Killed him. Went to prison. Now he crying.
Told you.
Ain't hard worth nothing. You know what I'm saying? Days of the fist fight. You know what I'm saying? That was.
Mm-hmm.
So to speak, manhood coming up. You know what I'm saying? You get your butt whooped, you go home, you lick your wound, you talk a good game, you gonna fight tomorrow, but you know what I'm saying? But you end up being bored. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time you end up being bored. And then later on, yeah, you might get into it, but them days are long ago, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it's a wild, wild west out here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Here's a wild, I used to talk, you know, I don't talk no more. Hey, what's up, player? I keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it moving, but you know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to go home.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. That's something else. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother?
No, the thing about it, when the mindset was you live to fight another day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really. I mean, we either become friends or we don't mess with each other. That's the whole thing. But you knew what you had when you would face a person.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like the old gladiators. We'd meet in the ring and let's see what's happening.
Yeah.
But then, but we live to fight another day. I mean, how easy it is! It's just to walk up to somebody, whether you know them or not, and just shoot them. That's so easy. But what's the point? You're going to prison.
Yeah.
Or you might just shoot each other. I mean, survival is the whole point, right? We're trying to live, not just kill up each other. That's a crazy mindset. I don't know. That's just me.
Exactly.
But if you know, I guess it seems pointless to some people. But the thing about it is, in trying to make that point, you knew who to cross, and who you knew who not to cross.
Yeah.
You know, they had some bullies coming up in our school. They had bullies in everybody's school. So you know what we'll do? Jump on the biggest one. Win, lose, or draw. If you jump on him, at least they knew, you know, hey, you had to deal with him the best you could because he wasn't scared.
Yeah,
but you just go out and just, because he's a bully, you just go ahead and just pull out a gun. That's a simple thing. I mean, it's just the mindset. Right. I mean, we're not trying to destroy each other.
Just the mindset.
We're trying to really build each other. Hey, I mean, really, that's just me. I mean, that's just this mindset of, even when we came out of our neighborhood, went to another neighborhood, these fellas that we would fight every day in our neighborhood,
right?
When it went out the neighborhood, then you know we was on the same team, but you knew who you had on your team. Now look, sometimes me and my brothers would fall out, and we'd fight like dogs.
Exactly.
And I remember one incident, brothers fighting. And my first cousin, come out, hey, bro, y'all better stop that. I said, man, you better get up out of here before you get tore out the frame.
Right.
Because that's family.
Yeah.
You know, we mad, we frustrated, but we got to go to bed in the same house. You better get somewhere.
Yeah.
Because mama would say, don't you come home.
But Dawn, I got a crazy question, man. Ain't your cousin your family too, though?
Blood is thicker than water, brother.
That's true.
You know that.
Yeah, I understand. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Along the lines of what Landon was saying earlier. Now, I like what the past caller said, and I get where Donald was coming from, because that's the era that I came up from. I think most of our neighborhoods were like that.
Yeah.
You know, where you had to fight your way through. Sometimes people would set you up to go down somewhere. They be waiting in the bushes for you to come. You go pick plums in the wrong spot. They don't set you up in there. Oh, there's a lot of plums up and down. Somebody waiting on you. You know, put the licks on you.
Yeah.
You know, that was a rite of passage for manhood. You know, that was a way of sort of training you to be prepared that, you know, hey, sometimes you might have to fight some people back. You know, just think, black boys had to fight white people sometimes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they didn't have access to guns, so you had to be prepared when you got confronted with these races. They go to this other school or whatever. These guys that y'all may have had to play football against, they think they got the best of y'all. You got to put your hands up.
Right.
4 of y'all and 8 of them. You got to put your hands up. You can't run. They got the circle. What you gonna do? Just lay there and take a beat? No, you got to fight. So that was sort of like a preparation for manhood. But then, you know, we also got to understand that some people are brought up to look at fighting as competition, fun, and sport. You know, but now going back to what Landon was saying earlier, see, me, I'm more of a logic person. Like I said, I didn't like to wrestle because I would end up fighting. And I felt like if I had to have some aggression or anger towards you to the point where I want to put my hands on you and hurt you or make you bleed, you had to do something very bad to me. And like I said, I don't have a middle ground. So with some people, you can't train them like that, because when they get angry, they are mad enough to kill you. When they fight, they are mad enough to kill you. And I think I told a story of growing up with some twins that their brothers used to make them fight. They used to turn. But I'm gonna be. Everybody else used to like to see, to see identical twins fighting each other. But I used to be like, man, something ain't right with that, man, because one of them used to just seem like he used to go a little bit overboard. He did not being on the losing end. He wanted to be the dominant twin, and and it started young. And he was also paranoid schizophrenic. I think his brother sort of made him anxious and made him dysfunctional a little bit because they treated him like pit bulls sometimes. So they had to go from being regular loving twin brothers to pit bulls for their brother's entertainment. Well, as we got older, that one twin killed his brother. So and I associate that with being desensitized by the older brothers that made them fight each other like cats and dogs when they were young, and they sat back and laughed about it. So it's a repercussion behind this aggression thing anyway. See, like, I agree with what Donald Toussaint was saying in a lot of the ways that we did have to grow up to be physical. So you still got to know how to fight when it's time to fight.
Yeah,
but you got to understand that sometimes people don't like to fight unless they are extremely pissed off.
Exactly.
Joined.
Exactly. Let's go back to Richard. What's on your heart, brother?
You know what? The reason why I turned 62 in August, I never thought about dying. I never thought about killing. I thought about being a child. And I was surrounded by other children who felt the same way. We shared each other snow cones, better known as frozen cups. We shared each other ice cream. We split a hamburger 4 ways. And these are the same boys we fought, shot marbles, spent tops, played frisbee, mommy bread burning, cool can, red light, hopscotch, football, basketball, baseball. And we never thought about dying. We never thought about killing. We thought about being children. Because we were told to go outside. You better not come back home, because some reason all our screen doors had a type spring on it. If you slam the screen door, oh Lord have mercy, you didn't want to deal with the matriarchs and patriarchs back in the day. You had to go inside and clean up. You was doing stuff you weren't supposed to be doing. But we were children. You know what? We learned how to fight each other. We never had any gun or knife play. We put our fists up and we fought. Whether you got hit in the eye, hit in the nose, hit in the lip, trip down, we just come up a different way. These guys today don't know how to fight. They don't know how to put their fists up.
Yeah.
These boys who carry guns have no idea how to fight. They have no idea how to put their fists up. Because even when, there's a bowl of lollipops that I give kids from 4 years old after they get their hair cut, when they've been decent, good little boys. These mothers come and negotiate with these children. If you don't cry in the chair, I give you a lollipop. Don't cry. I be like, baby, you got to go outside and wait for him. Because in here, we men. He's supposed to cry. He's supposed. I got a snot towel rag. He's supposed to cut up and have conniption fits and all that. That's what the barbershop is all about.
Yeah.
He's a boy. I'm glad you dropped him off, but you can't stand there with him right there at that 36-month-old or 40-month-old. They have to learn, and it takes us as men to show these kids how to develop. And it takes us to take them by the hand, wipe their tears, and say, look at me. Why are you crying? They have no clue why they're crying. You know why they're crying? Because they still got their nook in their mouth. They still got that nipple in their mouth, and they not understand what it is to be a man because they don't have one at home. All they know is mama. You know, all they know is mama. So when they grow up from being a toddler to a young adolescent, becoming a teenagers, they've been demised, they've been hypnotized on how to get out of situations. Always got to be a criminalistic activity, and you don't know the other side of the activity. You know, you have no clue what's waiting for you. And once they put them stainless steel bracelets on you, man, you're a target. You're already a lost cause for conception, because you're already, I don't want to quote unquote say, but you were born a black man. You're black male. So you already got the odds stacked up against you.
Yeah.
So when you grow up and let that see, everything comes with instruction. It don't comes with direction. When you give these kids these games that they play, you have to show them how and why these games are here. But a lot of the mothers, because the absence of a fathers, buy these kids a game to keep them away from what they're really supposed to be doing, having structure and order as a boy.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
We were to transition over this. Man, we could go the whole broadcast on just this one topic right here, but I want to jump into another one. And Landon, I'm gonna start it off with you, brother. Landon, you there? Okay. Text your volume. Make sure I can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Good deal. What is the difference between being rich and being wealthy?
The difference between being rich and wealthy?
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
Difference between being rich and wealthy, I would say it's two definitions or meanings behind the two. One can say being rich. The difference between being rich and wealthy is a mindset. You know, you can mindlessly get rich. You can easily get rich. You can win a lotto to get rich. You can rob, steal, kill to get rich.
Okay.
Wealth comes from a steady mindset, you know, on gaining those riches, the hard work, if you will. Yeah. Also, I think a lot of people categorize the difference of the two by saying that individual is rich. Wealth is when you do it for your family, or you provide, you know, those same riches, if you will, for your family. That's what wealth is. Rich is one person. Rich is for one lifetime. Wealth is for generation after generation after generation.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Lord, what do you say to that? What is the difference between being rich and being wealthy? Lord, you there?
Yeah. I'm here. I got it on mute. So, well, like the brother said, you know what I'm saying? Wealth comes with knowledge. You know what I'm saying? You done been rich. You done been rich. So now you on to wealth. And with wealth comes health and comes knowledge to keep the riches. Like he said, you can hit a lotto and become rich and lose it all in a year. But when you're wealthy,
days if you spend it right,
you're knowledgeable of your wealth.
Okay.
Of your self-worth. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna ball out being rich. We all want. But when you're wealthy and healthy, your knowledge outweighs it all.
That's good. That's good. I think we have my baby girl, my daughter. Mary, are you there? Tell everybody who you are and where you're hailing from.
I am.
Hey.
I am here. Okay. My name is Shamiracle. I am hailing from the good state of Virginia.
Okay, good deal.
That's about it.
That's it. Okay, well, let me ask you a question, Mary. What is the difference between being rich and being wealthy?
Well, I think it's a mindset. I mean, obviously it is with money, but I think if you're rich, you just have money, and if you're wealthy, I think wealthy can be more than a monetary thing. I think you could be wealthy and just, I don't know. I don't feel like it's just about money. I feel like it's more of a mindset if you're wealthy. But yeah.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Good deal. Leonard, what do you say the difference is between being rich and being wealthy? What's the difference?
Rich is what you are today. Wealth is what you are tomorrow. Riches don't last. Wealth lasts. You're not worried about wealth. Wealth is what you already have.
Okay. That's good.
Got that in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna last. Riches can be gone tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
You know, riches are a lot more finite.
Mm-hmm.
They don't last as long. You rich until you run out. Wealth don't run out.
Mm-hmm. So with that being said, which would you rather be?
What do you mean rich?
Rich or wealthy?
Well, one, I definitely want to be wealthy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, but rich is on the way.
Okay. Okay. That's good. That's good.
You're gonna be rich. See, some people are born wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
They're born into wealth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you ain't got to work for wealth.
Mm-hmm.
Wealth may be already set up for you.
Mm-hmm.
Riches was today, like I said, a situation. Who's asked about happiness? Happiness is a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It could be, you may be happy today, but not happy tomorrow, but still alive.
Mm-hmm.
You're just not happy.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing is like being rich. To me, you can be rich today and have a great day. You got some people, like you say, they spend all their money. I know guys spend all their money on tires for their car.
Wow. Mm.
I mean, a substantial amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care nothing about money tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
All they know is they're taking the money that they got today and they're buying tires with it to satisfy them for today.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
They never know when they may get that money again, or they may know that money running out. But they know they got it, so they're going to spend it.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That's a rich mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Wealth is, I'm going to put this money up and I'm going to make some more money with it. I'm going to put some more money with it. I'm going to keep putting some more money with it.
Mm-hmm.
Until I don't have to worry how much something costs no more.
Mm-hmm. Wow. That's good. That's good.
I don't have to rush into spending my money if I know it's going to be there tomorrow. If I trust it can be there the day after that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good. Tucson, what do you say to that? What is the difference between being rich and being wealthy? What is the difference?
It's a mindset, I believe. You can pass wealth down from generation to generation.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody else is saying, you can be rich today, broke tomorrow. And then you can have money in your pocket and you still broke because your mind ain't right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they got millions of people, got a pocket full of money. And had y'all ever heard of rent and roll?
Oh, you talking about them with the hub, not the hubcap, but the spinner wheels and all that stuff?
Well, anything. I mean, they sell everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's people with money. They have money, but they're not worried about the next day.
Mm-hmm.
They're not worried about the wealth. When I look at wealth, I look at my kids. I see what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I see what they're doing for their children. It's passed on. If they're enjoying life, if they're able to go on vacations, to show their family the world, then I'm a wealthy guy.
Mm-hmm.
I look at them and they in Italy tomorrow, or they somewhere else, then I'm a wealthy guy.
Mm-hmm.
They come from me.
Yeah.
Whatever they're able to do, that's a part of me. I may not have the mindset to even leave this country, but if they want to go, knock yourself out. That's a mindset of me, as just me.
Mm-hmm.
That's wealthy because they're able to enjoy life.
Yeah.
Just being able to enjoy life is a wealthy mindset. That's just me.
It's good. That's good. Rico, what's on your heart, brother? Tell me the difference.
To me, rich is more about material or physical gain.
Mm-hmm.
I picture when people talk about rich, or my perception is being able to have the diamonds, the jewels, the money, the cars. You know what I'm saying? I think about those simple material things that most people want when they become rich. But then when I think about wealth, I think about having an abundance of access to things that money can't buy.
Mm-hmm.
might be resources, might be wisdom, might be access to people. You don't have the money, but you got access to people with power that can make things happen that other people with money can't make happen. That's when you got wealth. You got a wealth of resources. So I look at that as being less physical, less material. But I look at rich as being more material, more of a material mindset. And with that material mindset, you can also lose that material. But
yes,
with
sir.
the wealth, with that immaterial, the part that's not material, but the access and the power to make things happen, people that can make an invention to make things more convenient in their home, they may not share that with anybody, and they might not sell it and make $1 off of it, but they are wealthy with this convenience that they have. They utilize at their home. Imagine the first person that came out with the central air and heating unit. You know, imagine the first person that did come up with the light bulb. He wasn't thinking about money. He was thinking about the invention and how much benefit it could be, not only to himself, but to mankind. Now, look, we can read inside the home without having to use the light or fire. This light bulb thing, and just think about it. In the past, they got light bulbs that didn't even burn out. They made light bulbs back then that are better than light bulbs they use now.
Yeah.
But that to me, that's something like more wealth. You know what I'm saying? It's longer lasting. It has more benefit than what money can show or pay for.
Exactly. Richard, what's on your heart, brother? Talk to me. What is the difference between being rich and being wealthy?
My experience is up close and personal. The wealthy pay the rich. Okay, I had an opportunity in my life to bodyguard this gentleman from Germany named Harris Coyne. Harris Coyne was a jeweler at 313 Royal Street in New Orleans, and what he was a diamond cutter. He would get a diamond the size of a boulder and chip it down to whatever Zales, Gordons, Jarrett's, whatever they would want. So that's the kind of money this young man had. And he owned the four corners of the 300 block of Royal Street, Charters, Bourbon, and Conti. And that's the kind of money he had. He would have me take his dog to the airport to fly to Houston, Texas to get groomed on a Lear jet. He would have me take the limousine to take a little dog, a white dog, that came back with a ribbon on the top of her head every Tuesday, drop off, pick up Thursday from the airport. That's a necessary wealth. So this is the kind of money that this gentleman had. This gentleman paid the rich. He was just that wealthy. Shaquille O'Neal is rich. Who paid Shaquille O'Neal is wealthy. Okay, that's the difference between it. But I also had unnecessary opportunity to be hit 4 times in the line of duty. 4 times in my legs. The guy shot at me 6 times. He hit me 4. That day, Barry Sanders had nothing on me that day. I was trying to get the heck out the way. And today I'm walking with no bodily injury or concerns of August 14th at 1:01 p.m. on a Sunday in the Magnolia Housing Project in New Orleans. That's rich. When you can stand up and talk, when you can regain your life and walk up again, that money came by. That's rich. You know what I'm saying? That's rich. And I share that story with everybody, that when you go through situations, you can't sit on it. That's the rich side of it. Okay, you got the wealth. I understand that. It's what you do with it makes the difference. But my difference between wealthy and rich is that the wealthy pay the rich. But when you're rich, you have to share, man. You can't hold on to anything with anybody. Understand your purpose for living, and you can decipher the difference between wealthy and rich. Understand your purpose. It's right there in front of you. It's in your hands.
Exactly. Leonard, talk to me.
I think it's very, important what he said, because it means a lot to different people. It can mean different things to different people, but I think where we get twisted at is we have to always remember there are people that live great lives that ain't got no money. There are people that live, like I say, here we pay thousands of dollars to go by there. I pay money to go ride horses in the ocean. Okay? But the people that own them horses running that spot, they may live in the shack, right? But they still live on the ocean and they ride horses in the ocean every day.
Yeah.
So that's their life. Their life to me from here is paradise. But from their side, they may be living in a house that they built themselves, barely standing up. The very money that they get that day is what they're going to eat with that day. And they live each day for what it is in paradise. You know what I'm saying? They're not preoccupied with everything else. Because every day they get to leave their little one bedroom, may or may not have electricity or not, or even running water. And they go down there so folks like me can ride horses in the ocean, and they can do it every single day.
Yeah.
They got ocean view live every day. But I got to pay $300 a night just to stay in a hotel to look at the same ocean.
Wow. Wow. That's good. That's good. Donald Tucson, talk to me, brother.
It's kind of like beauty, man. It's in the eyes of the beholder. Leonard said something that just was an eye opener, because we pay for something that some people get for free. Get something.
Exactly.
You know, I have involvement a lot of time with the homeless. So I did a kind of a scout to it was winter time, and I wanted to go see what did they need. Notice I say need to bring them through the winter. So I went in the woods and I asked them. You know, some were saying, "Man, you better be careful." But I don't know. Anyway, I asked them, "What do you need?" They said, "Batteries and Vienna sausage." Ain't that something?
I believe that.
You hear what I'm saying? We greedy.
Yeah.
We have a greedy society that they think that you got to have a lot to feel like you're rich or wealthy. These folks are just glad to, you know, hey, if I can get batteries to put in the electric gadget that I have and just have something to eat the next day. They're not worried about, or today, they're not worried about tomorrow. Tomorrow take care of itself. Yeah, realize who provides for you. When you know who provides for you, we're all rich.
Yeah.
We're all wealthy. Because what's his is ours. You just got to be able to ask for it.
Yeah.
And if you ask for it in the proper manner, it'll come. But we worry about and we spend money on things that have no value. And that don't make no sense. And we see it every day. That's why we have this society that is self-destructive.
Wow. That's good. Landon, what's on your heart, brother? Rico, you there? Go ahead, Landon.
I don't know what else to say about it, man. Besides that, I just agree with everyone else on the mindset part and the difference, anyway, I should say, about it being a mindset and an understanding that.
Watch this. I'm gonna change the course just for a second. Can being wealthy or even rich, could it be a cancer to some people?
Can being wealthy or rich be a cancer to some people? Yes.
Explain it to me.
I think being wealthy can be a cancer because, and I'm not going to say this because I ain't rich yet, but I know I'm on the way there. As far as financial, I agree with the brothers in saying, you know, God, being of God, and made in His image, everything that He has is ours. But financially, I'm not rich yet, but I know that I will be one day, and I know that I'll be able to provide this way of living for my family, for them to actually live.
Yeah.
When I say live, I mean for real live life.
Come on.
And you need that in this day and time. Just be honest. Let's be real about it. In this day, in this world, in these days, and I know y'all say it's in the eye of the beholder, but
so you saying you want to be holding some riches?
I'm just saying, man. I want to live life to the fullest.
Yes, sir.
I want to be able to do the thing, and I'm also be honest on this. I've lived a lot of my life from a struggle and a poverty standpoint, but I've always had the vision and known that this ain't for me. Yeah. You know, it's something better for me, and I've worked hard to get there at where I am now and where I'm going to be. I say all that to say, I think a lot about my children and my children's children, and just not understanding where dad or granddad came from, or the things that dad and granddad did, you know, to put them in the position that they're in, and how that could possibly harm or be a cancer to them when they go out and interact with other people and when they go out and live life. I constantly think about that thing, like in raising my daughter, because I'm a new parent. My fiance and I both, you know, we do very well for ourselves and working hard to provide for our family. But we also both have these conversations. You know, right now we just have our daughter Autumn. At some point we'll have more kids, and we always talk about how are we going to teach them. To not let the them being rich or them being wealthy affect them or the world in a negative way. We don't want them being mean, nasty people because they got money. You know, we don't want them being lazy,
complacent.
Yeah, you know, because sometimes, not all the time, sometimes you run into these kids that, you know, they pops and grandpops or whoever made all this money for them, they don't have to do nothing. And that is the world we want to provide for them, where they don't have to work. They don't have to have a 9 to 5. But you still want them to be, I don't want to say godly. Oh, yeah, godly, nice people. You know, we don't want that to be cancerous to them. And I also feel like for rich people, it can be a cancer because, and could be, keyword could. It could be cancerous to you because if you never had money and then you all of a sudden come into some money, that thing can be bad for you, man, because you don't know how to deal with that amount of money. You
Absolutely.
don't know what to spend it on. You don't know who to spend it on, what to do with it. So like the brother was saying, the money can be gone in a year. Man, stuff is expensive these days. That money can be gone in a day, depending on what you spend it on.
Exactly. Let me go to. I want to go to Rico and ask him this question right here before we get to our next topic. We got another topic we're gonna cover as well tonight. Rico, we talk a lot about people being wealthy and they're being happy and rich or wealthy and they're being very happy. And we just covered the part about it can be a cancer. But can a person be homeless and what most people would deem to be poor and be extremely happy?
Man, it's crazy you brought that up, man, because I was going to bring that up this morning, but I was like, you know, this ain't nothing to bring up. When I was in Times Square Sunday, I saw some of the most down and out people. I mean, both times I've been to New York, I saw some people in bad situations. The first time I was like, man, I don't see how they doing it. But this past Sunday, I saw some people sitting down now amongst the well-to-do people in bad shape.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them had mental issues. Some of them trying to hustle. I mean, they done been down through that. But you can tell they were content. It wasn't shame. I mean, it was odd, you know, and I was just, it was overwhelming to me, you know, because, you know, one thing I did, it was funny, the thought that came to me is that that's the first place that you could see an example of every existence of life. Times Square, you can see an example, you can see somebody homeless, doped out, from another country, speaking another language, anything, rich, famous, you name it, you can see one of everything down there in Times Square.
Yes.
But I saw those homeless people. And some of them were happy. You know, you could tell some of them were happy. I don't want to say they were out there celebrating and this and that, but at the same time, they were content. I don't want to say happy. They were content. You know, I don't think they are happy to the point that, well, if they had a choice to make, they would choose that. You know, it is times, those people that you see living on Times Square with no soul in the bottom of their shoes, that ain't feeling too good in the wintertime. It ain't feeling too good when in New Year's when the ball is dropping and it's 10 degrees outside and everybody else out there New Year's reveling and you trying to stay warm and everybody walking over you.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, so I don't think they're happy. I believe some people get content and they find a way to survive by the barest means necessary, but they are happy to at least be alive.
That's good. That's good. Richard, we got 2 minutes before we go to our next clip. Huh? Mary,
I have something.
Go ahead, Mary.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I think that they are happy. Some of them are happy because anybody who's lived in San Diego for a while and they have whole streets, like a whole bridge, and the street leading up to the bridge is designated for the homeless. And then there's a lot of people in Balboa Park that are homeless that have cell phones and everything. They have jobs. They just choose to be homeless because the amount of money it takes to live in a house or an apartment in San Diego is over $2,200 in BAH out there alone for a single E5.
Wow.
So if it's already, and E5s get, BAH is just for your rent. It's not meant for your bills. It's not meant for any of that. It may cover that, but it's only meant for your rent. So if it's over $2,200 just for what your rent might be, imagine if you don't have a stable paycheck, if you are not a salaried worker, it would be very expensive. So they choose to be homeless, and they are happy. They have communities over there. You will see them, and they ask you how you're doing, and you ask them how they're doing, and they look like they're having a better day than you.
Wow.
Because you stress on work, and they live fine. And it's just, I think some of them, the ones that choose to live that way, they are some of the happiest people that you'll find genuinely happy. Not just you ask them how they do, and they say, "Oh, I'm doing well," or "I'm doing good," but they're really not. They're actually happy.
Wow. That's a totally different perspective. Quick version, Richard, before we go to our next square. What's on your heart, brother? Richard, can't hear you. There you go. Nope.
Personal.
We got
the salon where I work at. They come in there with a lot of money. They come in there with no money. And the ones who have more of a blessing are the ones who don't have that. I'm able to be a blessing to them when they don't have it. Oh, bro, can you cut my hair? All I got is $7. Well, my haircut is nothing like $7. So I'm able to cut their hair and still be a financial blessing to them moving forward, because it's for a job, it's to make a difference in their life. So I'm glad to be in a position where I could be of service. At the same time, I get these guys that drive up in these Phantoms and these Lamborghinis and these Range Rovers who are so ugly, man. They're so condescending and rude and just don't have the value of life before them, not knowing that they're in a position to be a blessing. But it's only the ones the middle ground guy, like the 5 or 6 of us that's sitting right here who actually get it. You know, we're the difference makers. There are some who are less fortunate. I mean, you'd be surprised the reason behind a homeless situation. A person because they lost a wife, a spouse, a child, a job, and never really was able to come back. And like the young lady said in San Diego, some people just are okay with being okay. You know, they're okay with it. Then there's those who want to pooty on those who are less fortunate, man.
Yes.
Like, you know, that's the most dangerous ones, man, who think that because they're sitting behind the steering wheel of a $300,000 car that they're better than any one of us, when all of us put our pants on the exact same way every day.
Exactly.
You know?
That's good. We're going to go to our fourth, our third square tonight. We're going to go to our third square. Toussaint, we're going to come to you with this one. We're going to let you lead us out with this one, Toussaint. How do you surrender your weaknesses? How do you surrender your weaknesses to God?
Confess them. I just confess them. I don't mind doing that. That's good for the soul. I'm not trapped up and bound out by anybody. One thing that I kind of pattern my mindset of, the worst I could see in Scripture, and y'all follow me for a minute. I'm trying not to be long, but David did something that was just you couldn't fathom thinking about. He took a man that was faithful to him, took his wife because he seen her, and then had him put on the front line and killed, had a baby, tried to hide it. But some kind of way David wind up being, I didn't say it is in there, the apple of God's eye. Because he confessed it.
Yeah.
In all that he did, his heart was in the right place. Some kind of way. I didn't say it. Because we look on the outward appearance of man. But God looks at the heart. Even when we're talking about the rich and the poor. You look at a man because he's dressed nice or he's riding nice. That ain't the way. That's not that ain't by the quarter. Because he can be mean and hateful and arrogant, and nobody can't tell him nothing. He won't listen to nobody. It's all about him. He has arrived by himself. But here's a person that don't have just about nothing, and he will give you the last little cup of water if he see you thirsty. So I say that the best way to, I done forgot the question, but I know one thing. I just confess it. I tell God, you know me. I can't fool him. And I'm sure not trying to fool nobody else.
Exactly.
So I admit my faults and failures. That way I can be better.
And Donna, he was talking. Donna said, man, I forgot the question, but I'm going to go ahead and now. I forgot the question. Whatever that question was, I'm going to answer it for you now. But the question is, how do you surrender your weaknesses to God? How do you surrender your weaknesses to God? Rico, talk to me, brother. How do you surrender your weaknesses to God?
I'm not quite sure I surrender my weaknesses to God. If anything, when I catch myself that may be against the grain of humanity and against my belief in harming other people, but I have an urge to want to do it, I might say, you know what, I'm gonna let you handle this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you handle it. I might say that. Then at the same time, I might in the back of my mind say, you know, hey, if you have them to me on the platter, I'll take care of it. So I mean, I don't know if I really surrender my weaknesses to him. Yeah, you might have to go on to the next one on that one, man. Because I don't think I really do surrender my. If it's really hard for me. I mean, I will let karma play out sometimes, you know. But I really, you know, to me, as far as trying to answer that question, I really can't relate to it.
Okay. And sometimes, Rico, and this is just me talking here. Sometimes we do it unknowingly. Sometimes we just do it unknowingly, and it could be as simple as, Lord,
what would
please.
you consider your weak? What kind of weakness would you consider surrendering?
It could be and when I say weakness, I'm talking about maybe it's some desires that you might have. It may have a lot to do with some desires that you have. We got some background noise from somebody's line there. Everybody mute line for me. I think
I can't say that's one of tendencies to be violent.
Yeah,
I can say I surrender that to him, you know, most of the time, because in the past when I didn't,
you follow through.
You follow through, but then at the same time, after you realize what you done did, it ain't no fun being on the run because you don't know if somebody gonna find out. You don't know if somebody saw you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know what it's like to be paranoid, peeking out of blinds, wondering if somebody got the wind, if the police gonna be. You don't know if them. I mean, you can't. Oh man, I can get deep on this, man. You get paranoid and can't sleep sometimes, you know, because you let your anger take control of you and you act it out. Some of those same things that you know the consequences behind. He was talking about being somebody else's boyfriend, getting that sentence for lethal injection. You know, certain things that you could do that you know you're gonna be in trouble for. You know what I'm saying? So that's not a good feeling. So I think it will be easy in those situations for a person to say, well, you know what, man, before I go through those consequences, I'll surrender this because I know me. I know I might do something bad. Leonard said earlier how he was rough with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
Me and Leonard got a lot in common, man. I got, you call me Hank Aaron, you call me Batman, you call me Hammer and Hank. I mean, man, hammers, bats, you name it. Somebody done got some of it. But you know, at the same time, after it was done, I had to go. I mean, can you imagine being on the run on Christmas?
Wow. Wow.
I mean, you know, so that's why I say now I think I surrender, you know, my urges and my desires to get my own justice sometimes.
That's good. That's good. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna say it like this: to God be the glory, brother. To God be the glory. Leonard, what do you say to that, man? How do you surrender your weaknesses to God? Leonard? Leonard, you there? Unmute your phone there, Leonard. Unmute your phone. Tucson, talk. Well, no, we've been to Tucson. Richard, talk to me. How do you surrender your weaknesses to God?
Oh man, so much is given, much is be required. The Bible clearly states in Revelation, last chapter, last verse of the Bible, he says that everything I say in his word is true. I put it on my son, who is your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And with that being said, it's not about me anymore. I had to put my gauntlet down. I had to surrender. I had to grab hold of all the peace that was around me because of my loved ones, my mother, my sisters, my children, my business, my co-workers. I tapped out. I had to tap out. If I didn't tap out, my life was going to end in such a way where it was going to be such a poison to others, to my son, a cancerous situation where he wouldn't even know how to get it off of him. So I had to say, well, it hasn't been about me for a long time. I tapped out. I tapped on everything that was not of God. Satan lost a 5-star general, trust me. And now to understand exactly who holds me for the hand I hold, I had to surrender. You know, we sang a song a long time ago in the church, and I had no idea what that song meant, but it went something like this. Now I can't sing, fellas, so stay with me. Probably you, Mr. Appaloosa, you probably know the song. We are soldiers, we in the army, we have to fight. Although we have to fight, we have to stand on the blood-stained banner. We have to fight until we die. Now, I don't know if you ever heard that or remember that, but I was singing that as a child. A long one of determination to make heaven my home, and I ask each and every one of you to pray for me that I go strong. Do you remember that? Okay.
You remember that?
You see what I'm saying? I had to tap out. It wasn't about me no more, man. I had to surrender.
Amen. Amen. That's good. That's good. I'm gonna say something. I don't necessarily remember that song, but what I will say, brother Rich, I'm gonna go ahead and say it to you, brother. I sure hope they sang it better than what you just did.
I can't stand you, bro.
I sure hope this.
Hey, he got you good. Yeah, you thought he was going to come with a compliment, didn't you? You thought he was going to say something all sweet and sincere. He got fans on you.
Like he could do any better.
At least I ended on a good note.
Hey, he ain't like you upstage no more than a little good talk song. He got a whole good talk song.
Not a good talk song.
That's all right. I'll take my hit. That's all right.
I sure hope they sing it better than that there, brother. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Don't you try it.
Look at him. They don't look at. But look, Richard. Don't pay me no attention, man. I'm just serious. Leonard.
Yeah.
What do you say to that, man? What do you say to that? How do you surrender your weaknesses to God?
Well, first of all, I know that song, Brother Richard. We sung it every time we got a chance. It's called "We Are Soldiers in the Army." That's right. Plenty of day, those sung that song right there. Thank you. We got to hold up the bloodstained banner.
Wednesday night, Thursday night.
Thank you. And we got to hold it up until we die.
Well, see, I probably would know the song if somebody sang it better.
But that's whole surrender thing, man. You need to get into. I tell I fool with you Christians a lot about this matter. If you're gonna be Christian, you better believe that. Don't be just playing around. And that's how somebody easy pull you from one side to another. You have to know that after you've done all that you can, that God will do the rest.
Come on.
That's Christian 101 right there. If you can't trust nobody and depend on nobody else, you can depend on God.
Yes, sir.
To do a thing for you. But you have to give it your all first. Because there are a lot of things that we can do in our own will. And sometimes God will say, I made you to be able to do that. See, that you can do. You don't even need me to do that. And pretty soon it becomes easier and easier. And it ain't no struggle. One thing about Islam. Islam is total surrender to God.
Yes.
And I always tell the Christian, you cannot hate Islam if it is about total surrender to God. That's what it is. It's when you ought to know that there's some things that you can't do. You need to know the difference from what you can't do and what God can do. So, I try to keep people focused on that thing more so than I think we were talking about trust earlier today.
Yes. Yes.
Trust God. Like I used to tell my mother all the time. Because she would say, boy, you can be something else. And I say, you know what? Because I invested everything I had in God. That thing y'all taught me really works. And that's what I trust on. And that's what I believe because that's what has been delivering me. I don't know how I got out of some of the things I got of, especially being on the bottom, outnumbered, last in line, the least likely to even try. I wouldn't even get in a line. I would wait and let everybody else go first and take what's left. You know how some people, when you say, I compare it to like when you at a wedding and everybody think the food gonna run out. And then they start, well, we're gonna announce it by tables and this table get up because you had to keep everybody from just running to the line. And I used to tell people, you know why I ain't got a line? Why I ain't got to get in that line to get that piece of pie? Because I can make a whole pie. Yeah. I can take whatever's left and God can take it and make it better than whoever got it first. So, I never wanted to be a bad guy. Yeah. I never wanted to be a bad guy. You got some people that want to be bad guys. Exactly. I never wanted to be a bad guy. I just wanted to be left alone. And if doing what I had to do to get you off made me a bad guy, then so be it. Bless you. But I never meant people ill will. You got to go out of you got to do something to me. I'm just not gonna come after Richard for something or what have you. I'm not gonna do that. Right. Yeah. But I know where I have to pray sometimes, like what Rico said. Rico said he has to catch himself. Well, brother, that's what it's all about. The only thing that changes is you don't allow yourself to get there. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. You head it off at before it gets bad, and that's why I'm at in life now. One of the best things in the world. I'm at a point in my life where a woman can't tempt me. Before you had control over that. You remember anytime somebody gave you son shoes, shooting the shoe boot up, you go ahead, yeah, go ahead. But now you got you more sense. You say, you know what? No, thank you. Yeah. No, thank you. That's why I ain't running around here with babies all over the place. No, thank you. So sometimes you learn the wisdom of saying no, going the other way. You don't always have to fight about everything. Man, you ain't got better sit around fussing with Donald about what he doing. Yeah. For what? That's Donald business. You can tell Donald what does say at the Lord, but if he don't want to do it, he ain't gonna do it. He got his own mind to make up. Absolutely. Right. So I think sometimes, we spend too much time regretting and all this other stuff. When I tell most men, wherever you at right now, the best foot forward is to do better tomorrow. Yes, do better tomorrow. Don't worry about all that because
you're gonna limit your days worried about all that other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't do no more wrong going forward.
Mm-hmm. Leonard, we got to get on out of here, brother. I want to touch a few more people before we go, but I got to pick at Richard one more time, man. Richard, that's my dude, man. Look at Richard, man. We definitely happy to have you, and we like having fun right here. So don't take nothing personal that we say, man. But let me tell you something, brother. You can't sing, but you can sure blow a horn.
I'm sick of you, bro.
Already.
I'm coming back next week just for that.
Hey, you more than welcome, brother. You more than welcome. You can't sing, we can sure blow a horn.
Absolutely, man. That's that.
What you laughing at me? Rico. I ain't got nonsense, man. I ain't got nonsense. Mary, you still with us?
Hey, you hear your daddy? Do you hear your daddy, man? That joke, man. How y'all got so much sense with that right there?
Lord, Rico, I don't know, brother. I can't even answer that question myself. But Mary, how do you surrender your weaknesses to God? Rico.
I don't know. Okay. I think I'm still working on. I don't think I'm like a babe in Christ, I would say. I think I'm like a preteen in Christ.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still figuring out a lot of things. I don't know. I guess the obvious answer would be to pray.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good. Okay. Lord, Lord, you still with us?
Mm-hmm.
Lord, you there?
Wait. Sorry. Is the right answer to get saved?
No, there's no right answer. Everybody will probably have a different answer. Everybody will probably deal with it differently. So there's no right or wrong answer.
Raheem.
Yes.
Who is Lloyd?
Lord is on the line with us.
Lord, I don't remember hearing from Lloyd.
Yeah. Lord been with us. He's been with us for a while.
Oh, okay.
Lord, you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now, Lord, how do you surrender your weaknesses to God?
Man.
Hey, Lord, before you answer, Lord, let me say this right here. I'm glad you're still here, man. Because Leonard about to sneak. I was about crazy. Leonard about to call me cray. You're about to call me cray, but I'm glad you're still here, man. If you didn't answer for whatever reason, that brother was about to call me cray. Go ahead, Lord.
Well, I think we all sometimes hide our feelings from God, but we always seem to run to Him when I hate to say it, in time of trouble. Most of the time in time of trouble, but a lot of times in time of need and in happy times.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it's pride comes before the fall.
Yes, sir.
As they say, and it's in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I'm saying? Men sometimes have a lot of pride in what they do and how they talk. You know what I'm saying? Even with God.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and sometimes it's hard. At first, it's hard to surrender everything. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like totally sell out. But then once you do it, it becomes easier and easier and easier. So, you know what I'm saying? Like pretty much everyone is saying, excuse me, you know, prayer.
Yeah.
Prayer, you know what I'm saying? Prayer says it all. You know what I'm saying? You can say any and everything to God. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You might not get the answer that you want.
Yes, sir. Yes,
but you can get an answer.
Mm-hmm.
That you need.
You know?
Absolutely. That's good. Landon, Finishing up with you, brother. How do you surrender? How do you surrender your weaknesses to God?
I think that I do it unconsciously sometimes, and other times I do it semi-unconsciously. What I mean by that is I when I pray, when I talk to God, it's a literal conversation. It's not formal in any type of way. I don't always put my hands together and get on my knees. I talk to God like I would talk to my mom or my grandmother or anyone else, and I just have a conversation about my day or whatever I'm dealing with. But I don't go with the intention of surrendering. But I think when you're honest with self,
yes, come on,
you unintentionally surrender because you're being honest with self. And if you're being honest with self, you're being honest with God, because we are made in His image. We are of God, you know. And I think that
he wasn't ready for that one. He wasn't ready for that one.
Because I don't know. I'm not as versed in the Bible and Quran and all this. Even though I call myself trying to study and learn all these things, because I was a bit confused for a minute on which to go with. Because I was trying to be religious, and I'm not religious. I'm spiritual, but I still have a love for God and the understanding that if I can, and it's hard to be honest with yourself sometimes, because the thing that you got to be honest about, may not be in what you think or want to be, what you want to be your best interest. But when you're honest with yourself, you do surrender.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Surrendering. Do men at any point in time in their real existence totally surrender? And that's the rhetorical question. Please don't answer it. But do we ever totally surrender? I like to think I would like to think that the answer is yes. I would like to think that I've totally surrendered. But have I really? Is there some piece or part of me that I try to hold on to? Even in my weakest of moments. Is there some things I try to hold on to that I selfishly try to hold on to? Each and every one of us that's here, it is something about us that we selfishly hold on to. Even when we're going through our worst of times, we still try to hold on to that, whatever that is, whatever that thing is, instead of just surrendering it all to God and let Him have His whole way. That's just a question. Listen, we're about to get out of here. I'm gonna go around right now, give everybody an opportunity to say what they want to say briefly in their closing. We only got 3 minutes before we get out of here, so please be brief with your closing. And somebody, I think that Lord, mute your line for me, Lord. Mute your line. I think that's your phone. I give some feedback from your line. I think that's what it is. Lord, you there? If you're there, mute your line for me.
No, I'm muted.
Okay, I'm getting some feedback. I'm getting some feedback from some. There it is. Okay, good deal. Somebody's calling me. I'm going to call them back. Okay, Mary, in your closing.
Well, I'll save everybody the trouble and go ahead and take the full 2 minutes. I just want to tell everybody, that I love them. Have a good night, and that's about all.
Good deal. Lord, in your closing.
Well, hey, each one reach one, each one teach one. That's about it.
Good deal. Donald Toussaint, in your closing, sir.
Yeah, we have to consider what's behind us, our youth and young children. What we do going to make the difference in their lives. So I done just about lived mine. So
yes, sir.
I'm looking at it.
Absolutely. Richard, in your closing, sir.
Live life, love life, understand your purpose. Once you tap into your purpose for living, it all makes sense. All makes sense.
Absolutely. Amen. Leonard, in your closing, sir.
Man, it's been great talking with you guys this evening. And I forgive me with my memory, but I can't remember. But there used to be a DJ, and every time he would go off of the radio, he would say, "Love your mother, respect your brother, and teach your sister how to be a lady."
Wow!
And I've been thinking about that for the last 2 days, and I swear I can't remember that guy's name. But that's what I have been thinking about these past couple of days, is that it's so true. And he would say that every time he would go after the air, go off of the air. And I think that's very important for each person. As the brother said, each one, reach one, teach one.
Exactly. That's good. That's powerful. I'm about to find out who it is, man, because that's a powerful close right there.
If I catch it before you, I'm going to let you know.
Hey, and likewise, sir. Likewise. Rico, in your closing, sir.
Peace, love, and happiness, everybody.
Peace, love, and hair grease. Well, we don't need no hair grease, do we, Rico?
Stop it.
Hey, man.
Oil.
Exactly. Let me get Donald Toussaint. Donald Toussaint, if you don't mind, sir, will you pray us out?
Okay. All right. God, our Father, we come now and we give you glory and honor, and we sure enough praise you for just who you are. And our desire is to see you clearly. So in our thinking, in our mindset, when we walk, talk, treat each other, help us to pattern our lives so that we would act like we were made in your image and in your likeness. Bless now these brothers, and bless Raheem and all of us, the households, our families, kindreds, acquaintances, whatever your will is for our lives, we lay it all at your feet and say, have your way. So now we give you glory and honor and praise. Bless us as we lay at night, God. Keep us in your care. In Jesus' name and for his sake. Amen.
Amen. And I'm going to go ahead and say something for my Louisiana brothers. Love you, baby.
Yes.
Who that, baby?
Exactly. It's been a great broadcast. Hey, Rich, you coming back with us, brother?
Well, I'll be back next week with song and everything.
Don't do it. No. You can come back when we're on this song thing. We don't need all that. We good. Exactly.
Y'all dirty, bro. I swear to God, y'all dirty.
It's been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody,
brother. Absolutely.
Good deal. It's been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us, and more than that. Hold on, before I even do that, I got to invite each and every one of you to join us tomorrow. We got a show that we do every day, Monday through Friday from 7 until 10, called The Morning Glow. But every Wednesday, it's called, Rico, what's it called? Way Out Wednesday. But Rico, what you call it, Rico?
I'm glad you said it. Wild Out Wednesday. Ain't that what I used to
Wild Out. Okay.
You know, change the whole name of it. Hey, Rich, he changed the whole name of the show, man. He got his own name for the show, but that's where we actually open up the phone lines, and whatever you want to talk about, you call and you ask the questions, and we talk about it in its entirety. So Way Out Wednesday is what we do every Wednesday. So if you have an opportunity every morning between 7 and 10, check out The Morning Glow. Definitely check it out on Wednesdays. Way Out Wednesday. We have a good time. We actually, Richard, we let our hair down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Literally, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
So if you'd like to join us for that, but it is now on 10:04. You're about to exit Real Men Being Men. I want to thank you all for joining us more than that. I want to thank you for allowing DK Media Group and Associates and Real Men Being Men to be a part of your evening. It's now 10:04. You're about to exit Real Men Being Men. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us, because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug, because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you could do about it. Have a great night and a better tomorrow. And we shine some of this light on you from Real Men Being Men. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Y'all take care of each other and have a great evening.